So this is the vaunted unicorn from myth and legend and actual fact. So here's this is a narwhal. It only has a few teeth. One of them grows out through its skull. This is actually a tooth, but it's made out of ivory. And every once in a while they would get a narwhal horn, and they would parade it around with that this was from a unicorn. Now remember, the tales of the unicorn in the Bible were translated from Greek to Hebrew. So the Greek word for unicorn would have been monoceros. Monoceros. It's the word where we get the word rhino from. So the unicorn was a rhino. I have a reprint of an old book at my house. That's a reprint of a book that's 480 years old. And in that it talks about the unicorn, and it specifically says the unicorn is a great beast that lives in Africa, and sometimes it bests the elephant in battle. So the unicorn in the Bible is the first way. The uni means one, and here's where they kind of give it up and say that the monoceros and the unicorn are the same words. It just kind of got changed in translation. Remember, the Hebrew Bible, the Hebrew language. Not Proto-Hebrew, but the next one up, not Paleo-Hebrew, but Proto-Hebrew, only had less than 6,000 words. When Israel became a nation, they had to make up new words for like telephone and things like that. And this is from a natural history book in 1657 where they have listings of a unicorn. But much like they mistranslate stuff with when you translate, you can transliterate or translate. And if you buy a copy of the 1611 King James Bible, I mean the 1611, which is in Middle English, the only reason to really get it, I mean it's complete, but it's hard to read. But the whole reason to get it is to get the preface. And in it, the 200 scholars that King James hired to translate the competing translation of the Bible at the time was the Geneva Bible. And so and that one had more, let's say, Catholic influence and more Roman Catholic influence in it than the Church of England wanted. So, and here's the coat of arms of the royal family. You can see it's got a lion and a unicorn. But in the preface, they talk about how they're not sure. They did the best they could on some of these translations. So the unicorn is actually a rhinoceros. They mistook the animal forward. Another common thing they screwed up on was the story of Samson. So in the story of Samson, Samson grabs 20 foxes or a whole bunch of foxes and grabs their tails together and lights a fire with brand and releases them to burn the fields. Well, that many foxes would cover over 300 square miles, and you really can't catch a fox with your bare hands. However, you can catch a jackal with your bare hands. It's been done they've done experiments with this over the last 50 years. Guys have just gone up to bunches of jackals because they're kind of carrion feeders, and once they see one get caught and he's not really being hurt, the rest of them will let you touch him. They're dogs basically, but they're not aggressive dogs. They're jackals, and you could get 20, 30 jackals and tie a firebrand between their legs and release them to burn a field. It wouldn't be that hard. They've actually done it repeatedly in experiments, actual experiments. So sometimes the words in the Bible, as they get translated, lose their original meaning simply because there's a lot of Hebrew that depends on the context that it's used in. Another word that's commonly confuses people is the term eretz. So that means earth. It could mean land. It could mean the whole of the realm of earth. I'll give you an example. So the prophet shut up the heavens, and it rained nowhere on the Haaretz, the whole of the earth, for 3 years. Well, that didn't mean it didn't rain in outer Mongolia or the rainforest or anywhere like that. It just meant it didn't rain anywhere germane to the story. And there's a whole lot of words like that everywhere. And if you can see, try to get a good angle on these. These are really, really old books. Good illustrations, but the guy got it wrong. And there's a lot of words like that. So Hebrew, a lot of the context, how it's used in the sentence, this determines the way the word's used. And it isn't just the Old Testament; it's the New Testament. So there's a in when they're talking about the people being caught up in the clouds, the same word for clouds is suke, spirit. So you can be caught up in the clouds or caught up in the spirit. And you've heard of a cloud of locusts. Well, there's a cloud of people. So there are several ways that words can be changed in the content. So that's how Hebrew works. And so anyway, the rhino was the unicorn. The Monoceros uni, mono one, uni single. And that's all I got. Thank you. I'm out.